What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and we are going to be, or I am going to be going through the, let me just see, different layout here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do this. We'll share the whole screen here. May as well. Okay, we're good. We're all good. All right, so we're going to go through for the next, 40, 45 minutes or so. We're going to try to get through all of it through the MLB, NBA, and NHL. And I'm not gonna get too into the weeds with everything. I'm just gonna go over who I think the best plays are, a couple of ideas, and then we'll just kind of get out of here. Uh, Big excitement tonight. 11 p.m. We are going to do the live sweat, which is definitely my favorite thing to do DFS wise. We're going to pull up the lobbies of all these MLB contests, these NBA contests, NHL contests, and we're going to see who's doing well. We're going to do a little play-by-play, go back and forth between the different sports. We're gonna watch probably the last 5 innings maybe of the Coors game where everybody's either sweating or anti-sweating the Mets. Then we're probably going to get the last half of the second NBA game, which is the T-Wolves. Not to mention maybe the end of the hockey game. And then we're going to probably do another PGA lineup build before we crash. And if we're really in the mood, we'll do our what's become customary, our total Wednesday DGen League of Legends lineup build to kind of close the night out at 11 o'clock. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, let me just go over who looked like the best plays in the MLB, and then we're going to go over who I actually got to. Again, honestly tonight, I'm just throwing my lineups into SaberSim, doing a couple of tweaks, and just kind of letting it roll. I'm also going to just, as usual, I'm going to make sure I have nothing but 5-man stacks, and maybe some 4-4s. And again, Bobby and I are a lot different when it comes to that. I just really, real correlation whore, to turn a phrase. And that's what I'm doing. I also did set a minimum salary of $49,000 on DraftKings, and we'll get back to that in a minute. What's interesting, one of the things that's interesting is the pitching tonight. I think you could go a lot of different ways. We didn't have such a lock like we had this afternoon with Tyler Glasnow. Too soon. Tyler Glasnow, otherwise known as Mr. Glass, got taken out of that game in fine style after a full crisp 2 1/3, something like that. Listen, that's just the way it goes. Hey, there's some weather going on tonight too. Who knows? I mean, Yankee weather looks fine enough, but it could rain. I mean, it's definitely raining. It could keep raining. You could get some weather in all kinds of places tonight. Nothing's, orange red or anything like that, but you never know. So there's always risk in baseball, and that's just kind of the way it is. All right. Pitching. I think you could play literally any of the following: Colin Ray, Cole Reagans, Zach Wheeler, Will Warren, Yuri Perez, Paul Skeens. I mean, Jack Flaherty. Hell, you could play Freddie Peralta in Coors. Okay, I think that's probably where you draw the line and don't go down to Soroka. But if you looked at my values numbers here, there's really, if you go from like top to bottom, there's definitely a little difference between Reagans and say Peralta at the bottom, but Peralta's got upside. Why is he such a bad play against Colorado just because they're in Coors? Well, yeah, it's in Coors, so whatever. But he can certainly just get 10 strikeouts there and say, okay, atmosphere this, so to speak. So I think that you can really spread out your pitching exposure tonight. And Colin Ray at 6,500 really makes a lot of things work. So I guess from a just pure value perspective or whatever, I mean, I think he's the best. I don't know if I'm actually going to get there though, because I don't even know if you need that type of salary relief. But that's my take: is Reagans and Ray, I guess, at the top, then a small drop to Wheeler, then a small drop to Warren, who might have weather issues, and then I guess you could tier it to the next group, Perez and Skeens, maybe. But yeah, that's what I think of the pitching on DraftKings. When it comes to the stacks, the Mets at Coors certainly is getting the best projection, and they're going to be significantly higher owned than everybody else. But I have to say that the gap between their projection and some of these others is not that high. I have them only moderately ahead of the Yankees. And actually, if you want a wild, pivot, I mean, I only have the Mets a couple of points ahead of the Nationals. I mean, really. So I think they're very, very legitimate as far as a low-owned pivot here. Yankees are going to make sense. People are going to play them. I think the Phillies are going to get played also, and that makes sense. And then something a little cheaper, the Twins. I think the Twins look pretty good. And if you want, again, I mean, I could do this all day because I don't think the Mets are the greatest value here, given their ownership. You could play anybody. I mean, you could play Baltimore. You could play Pittsburgh. I guess what I'm trying to say is this really is kind of an optimizer sim type stack, slate. If you're going to play multi-entry, I don't think you want to look at it and say, okay, I want 30% of this or 20% of this. I think there's just very few differences, between one and the other, which is why, you have some of the software that can help you. Dicey's playing Skeens and Eovaldi, huh? Let me see where I have him. I have him, 10th, 11th, something like that. So yeah, I mean, I got no problem with that. Not that you asked my opinion, but I probably would think Reagans would be the best. Maybe something like Reagans with, I don't know with whom actually, but I like Reagans tonight. And again, that's just me staring at it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look for the first time to see what the exposure is here. And it's going to stay that way for a little while. Now, what's important to realize is that the Mets game is not until 9 o'clock or whenever. So you'll be able to screw around. Like if you're doing poorly and you have all this Mets chalk, you can certainly pivot away from it. Now you're not going to get the best projection, but you can play Arizona or whatever. Let's actually take a look at that. What the late swap options are here, as Saberson continues to be slow on me. Yeah, you have this Pittsburgh Arizona game, which you could swap to, like if you don't really like the way things are going. Now, let me just kind of share with you, I guess, what I ended up with. This is literally the first time I'm seeing. I am getting Zach Wheeler as my highest owned pitcher here, as you can see. So what this is showing me is that while Colin Ray is probably a good play, you might not need him. So for me, the top guys owned for me are actually the top salary guys and projected. That being Will Warren, Zach Wheeler, Cole Reagans, and you see it, Skeens. These are the 20, guys I have over 25% of. And when it comes to stacks, it looks like I am getting a bunch of the Mets. So let's see. Now you'll see exactly what I did. I said I want only 5 3s, 5 2s, and 4 4s. And I ended up with Mets, number 1. Then, is this the right build? Yeah. And then Minnesota. They're the second one. Followed by Philly, then the Yankees, Baltimore, I am getting 10% Washington, not as much as I thought, but Minnesota definitely is showing up for me. So Mets and Minnesota number one, followed by Phillies, Yankees. You see it. Baltimore, Boston, Miami, whatever. Okay. Let's take a look at FanDuel and then we'll do the same thing. We'll say who I would think I would want and then who I'm actually getting. So when it comes to just pure projections, let me just see. It looks like Reagan's is the top play pitching wise. Reagan's followed by Wheeler, I believe. Let's just double check that. Yep. Reagan's followed by Wheeler, followed by a whole bunch. So Reagan's, I think, is almost a standout on FanDuel. Let me see if there's any difference in stacks. Not it's the same crap. The Mets project the best, but the Yankees are really close behind. So this is one of those things where if I were hand building guys, honestly, I probably would play something other than the Mets. But I'm using the Sims. This is kind of what I'm getting. Yeah, I agree with you, Dice. I think Minnesota is going to end up getting steamed as well. A big total in Washington. Yeah, I agree with that. So let's see. Let's see what I'm getting on FanDuel. Now, again, I'll just show you what I did, what I do. I make sure to play only 4 4s and 4 3s on FanDuel. And because of that, I did set a minimum salary of $34,000. We'll take a look at it. See, stack exposure, 4 3s and 4 4s. Minimum salary, $34,000. And we'll just take a look and see what I have here. So pitching wise, it looks as though, yeah, Reagan's number one, as I mentioned, then Wheeler, then everybody else. I mean, see, it's a much different situation over here. And then as far as stacks go, it's the same, honestly. I mean, I wish I could tell you I had these wild takes and these wild exposures of these wild teams, but I just don't. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So tonight it's Mets and Twinkies, and we'll see how it plays out. That's the best I can kind of do with this. All right. Let's look at the NBA for tonight, 2-game slate. And I actually will build those unless I did it already. Let me just take a look at what I have here. So NBA, from a point per dollar perspective tonight, it looks as though the best point per dollar play is going to be Paul George. And that's, again, it's very unusual to have, this the top point per dollar play be so expensive, being 6,400. But remember, with the playoffs, it's just not like, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually build right away. I'm going to build right here live. And I'm going to use SaberSim to do it. But because, really no scrubs get any real run in the playoffs, that's what you're going to end up getting here. Now, again, one thing that's something we actually have to, we have to keep an eye on is this Anthony Edwards business. I don't know what's going to end up happening with him. They have him questionable, and yesterday when he was questionable, they have him coming off the bench. I don't know, and they were serious about that. I thought that he could even come off the bench and make it say 30 minutes or whatever, but no, it just didn't work out that way. So I'm just going to go with the projections here and just kind of roll with it. Honestly. And I'll build 20,000 lineups and just see what I get. But what I should get, I really should get Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. These are my top guys. And then Stephon Castle. Those are the top 4 rated point per dollar plays. And then as far as spend ups go, it's Wemby. Now, the reason why you're getting all this Philly stuff is because Embiid was ruled out, obviously. Now, you also have to keep in mind there is, some degree of blowout risk, right? The Knicks are a 10-point favorite. Then again, San Antonio is an 11-point favorite, so I don't think there's any more blowout risk in one than the other. And remember, this is the playoffs, so you're up 20. You're not shutting it down quite yet. I mean, you need to get these wins. And the Knicks got off to a really, really good start here, but these game twos are always very dangerous to the home team. So if I had an opinion here, I would say that the Sixers plus the points are extraordinarily live, and I actually might bet them. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Knicks, but yeah. So let's see what we come up with here. Josh Hart might end up being decent value. Now, the obvious play, honestly, is Andre Drummond, right? I mean, why am I not getting a bigger projection out of him, considering that Embiid is out? I mean, I'm getting, I don't know. It seemed logical to me, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But let's just take a look. And again, I didn't really have to build 2,000 lineups here, but I am. Now, again, 9:30 p.m., staggered starts. So you're going to have, the opportunity to late swap. And you're also going to be able to get a little more clarity, maybe, on Anthony Edwards. So, I mean, all else being equal, you should probably backload the last game, but you can't let these Philly guys go unplayed. With no Embiid, you have Paul George at 6,400, which is, I mean, really, how do you not play these three guys? I mean, I hope I get them. I mean, honestly, because without Embiid in a must-win game, I mean, every game is a must-win game. How are you not playing Paul George 6,400, Tyrese Maxey 8,100? Well, we're gonna find out. Now, San Antonio, they're you talk about must-win. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they took the loss at home last game one with basically no Edwards. That is these Timberwolves. They surprise, man. And all this stuff that's going on is just more evidence of why OKC, by the way, is going to win the championship again. Just doesn't seem like anybody is quite good enough. Now you see that I'm running the contest sims against the stock Saber Sim contest fields. Diversify this, and yeah, there you go. Maxey, George. Oh, I am getting 55% Andre Drummond, and you know what? Good. That's fine by me. So that's the exposures, and I'll just show it to you again real quick. And again, I am going to probably change something between now and when the second game goes, but this is probably going to hold for 640. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey 66%, Paul George 62, Andre Drummond 54, Edgecombe. I mean, Embiid's out. I mean, you got to play this stuff. All right, let's take a look at FanDuel. For those who didn't notice, I was actually at the Yankee game last night. That was definitely a lot of fun. So let's pull this up. Right, let's pull these projections in. My new FanDuel projections. I mean, you're not going to see too much difference in anybody's NBA projections in the playoffs here, but we'll see. Maybe I'm a little different than Saber Sim in some spots. Maybe like a point that might add up to something. I don't know. Let's build instead of 9,000, 10,000 or 20,000. We'll build just 9,000. And again, I don't know what I'm going to end up getting with Edwards. I mean, yesterday, it's my own fault. I heard that Edwards was playing. I thought that was good enough. And then I kind of went to dinner. I checked my phone to see if there was any notification from DraftKings that Edwards was out, and he wasn't out. So I just figured to leave it. I had like 100% Edwards. That was the stand I was going to take. But I really didn't even think to check to see if there's going to be an announcement that he was going to come off the bench. So I just missed it. Then, of course, I tried to talk myself into after the game started that I was going to get there anyway. But that was not the case. All right, so let's see when we get on FanDuel. And then I will just share with you my hockey, 2-game hockey slates. I guess the one thing that's different about, again, the way I play hockey is this is kind of weird, but even on 2-game slates, I try to stack. Just the correlation is just so wild with literally almost every single goal resulting in a 10 points for one and 5 points for 2 other people. That's so huge. That to not like really, really lean on that, I think is a huge mistake in hockey. All right, so let's see. Save these. And, I guess here's a really big difference that instead of that you're getting a much bigger exposure to Kelly Oubre over here due to price, but same stuff. I mean, all the Phillies. All the Philly, and more Stefan Castle, actually. And more Stefan Castle. So let's put this up here. Any news here? No news. FanDuel NBA is up. And when it comes with the hockey, I'll I already built the stuff. I don't, show you what I have. Just for the hell of it, just for transparency here. Now, again, tonight we have the live sweat. Probably go to 11 until about 12:30, something like that. See how it goes. And then see how Coors is developing. About 12:30 or so. Maybe the end of the NBA game. And then tomorrow I'm going to do an UFC stuff and whatever else is going on. So stack exposure. Again, I went with full stacks here, and I have some of everything. So just close my eyes and hope that the correlation aspect just kind of plays. And remember, it's only 35 max lineups you can play in the overload here. So it's not like you have to fight people that are going to play every combination of these 3-3-2s and 2-3-3s. I like playing the stacks in both baseball and in hockey. So we're going to continue to do that. You want me to look at overall, like the top players, maybe? Yeah, why not? It's pretty cool that even on a 2-game slate, I don't have more than 49% of any player. Pretty nasty, huh? Well, we'll see. I'll probably have something going here as well in this Anaheim game. So maybe we'll catch the last period and a half of that. Okay, I guess we did it. Got through the MLB, got through the NBA, got through NHL, and we are ready to take down something, hopefully. That's going to do it. Good luck, everybody.